Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India. On this day, September 20, 2021, Monday, and same talk continues about quality issue, COVID issue, and safety, health, environment, which are very important requirements in life to be resolved. Title is about engineering, that is civil field engineering, life, quality and AnnexSL, COVID-19, safety, health, environment, engineer's role, designs, construction methods, contracts, organizations, communication, coordination, and why be behind quality all time, which is always very important part on my behalf, quality. And of course, we used to talk about inspections and audits. That is very much required part of safety, controls, and you can say overall. In this file we had reached certain, you can say, certain leadership and organization administration talks. We talked about various issues. What should be policy, what should be work, what quality we have to understand, what safety we have to understand, what are responsibilities, what is management organization, what are complaints, all that we try to comprehend in this. In inspections, I'm inclined not exactly to inspections, but exactly to performance, because inspection is conducted on performance, and what we say, performance is important if everything is important. Performance doesn't depend on one person or other person. We have to adopt some policy that is right. Safety policy, quality policy, construction policy, program policy, scheduling policy, handling of workers policy, handling of staff policy, and everything is a policy in fact. And we can say it's a plan, it's a policy, or it is organization. I stress on organization. How do we organize? Because there is no hard and fast rule for organizations. It depends on individuals, and individuals means engineers actually. Engineer can be at organization level, can be at managing level, can be at execution level, can be at supervision level. Wherever you will find this field of engineering should be organized by engineers only. And engineers means you should know first engineering and then organization. If you leave one, you will leave other one. That you understand. If I live thinking about work, I can live thinking about everything. It doesn't mean you have which degree. You have engineering degree and you have lot experience. Lot means couple of years experience or more than decade experience. You are well qualified. You are well experienced. Experience is more than qualification actually. In engineering field, when we evaluate experience, because experience is postgraduate experience, particularly postgraduate, post degree or post masters or post doctor, whatever experience one got in, that experience weighs much more than only you can say a degree. I'm not saying don't have degrees. You must have degrees. That's very important. Means degrees tell you what your life is, what your profession is, what your engineering is. But a post degree, you must have virtually, or you must have practical, or you must have competent experience. That experience can give you input of life, input of profession. Because whatever we do on sites, in construction, or in offices, in designs, or in engineering, we do a lot based on experience. Engineering books which are written by professors, authors, those books do not have input from field. They do not have input, though it is a must, but such books are not available, or this is due to program, this is due to syllabus of engineering. That doesn't give importance to that. It doesn't matter, because engineering education is only for 5 years, 5 years, 4 years. If you are postgraduate degree, you are maybe 1 more year or 1.5 years, then for doctor another couple of years. So it doesn't give you whole life. And every engineer student, any engineer delivery, every engineer person thinks because one has got degree, they know very well it won't help everywhere. Experience is more than, you can say degree. If I consider myself, I compare myself at present time and my past when I just got qualified, I just got educated. That was in first education I got of civil engineering diploma of 3 years. That was in 1974. Then I got 1980 pass in section A and section B of the Institution of Engineers India, which is same value as a degree. It was 1980. So you can say after that it is about 20 years of that century and around 20 years of this century, around 40 years. In these 40 years, what I compare now, that I learned very little during my college time, during my education time. But I tried to learn a lot and I could not learn a lot also. I had opportunities, but there's time limit. And also you have to invest time on papers and documents, but you have to work on site also. That working on site is very significant, practically speaking. It gives you input of about every engineering section, subsection, engineering subjects. You can say calculations you have to do, mathematical terms you have to apply, quantity surveying you have to do. You have to work out designs if you are in designs, or maybe you have to deal with designs. Sometimes it's not necessary that you just depend on. Sometimes minor designs are to be done, sometimes major designs are to be done, and sometimes different kinds of calculations are done. Budgets you have to make, and you have to do whatever others cannot do or whatever your study did not teach you. If you use your mind, there is no limit in engineering, to be very frank. Particularly in civil engineering, I am not sure about others should also be same. Only difference is there is a different work. Means in engineering, civil engineering, construction engineering, design engineering, we have to immerse ourselves. Every engineer has to immerse in work, immerse in imaginations, immerse in contemplation, immerse in thinking, and that immersion in that stream of engineering activities really is very significant, very important. You may call it management, you may call it organization, you have to deal, not may have to deal with safety, health and environment, you have to deal with quality, you have to deal with work, you have to deal with methods, you have to deal with construction, you have to deal with specification, you have to deal with coordination, you have to deal with communication, you have to deal with technical activity, you have to deal with human resources, you have to solve workers' problems, machine problems, and you have to solve conflicts. Conflicts is a very important part. Conflict means attack on each other, or you can say clash with each other. One discipline, other discipline, or there's clash in same discipline. It happens because of so many drawings, major pieces of drawings, minor pieces of drawings, sections, elevations, so much so in text form, specifications, contract itself may be clashed in, or you can say there is no limit. Then you have to worry about payments, you have to worry about quantities, you have to worry about contracts, claims. There is nothing, your time is so short, you are given the responsibility. If your experience means that is a kind of university, more than university education. Your site, your construction, your project, your design section, you everywhere you find that you are your own teacher, you refer to codes, you refer to procedures, you refer to trials, whatever is to be done, you have to prove it, you have to submit for approval to someone, and that's where you can say kind of pass. If you get approved, you may think, oh, I got it approved by competent authority, so it was okay. Or if it is not okay, there may be some approvals with comments, then you have to go through those comments and find out solutions for them, and you can say, okay, I have incorporated these comments and get another approval until final approval is obtained. So approvals is very important. Approval doesn't mean that they are responsible. Approval only means that whatever we have done as contractor, as engineer, as whatever who is responsible on that procedure, this has been agreed by everybody. This means, but ultimately responsibility should be owned by that, who gets payment for that work. So that's what I'm trying to explain, this what happens in field, what happens in system. And system means every system. It may be construction system, it may be safety, health and environment system, it may be quality aspect system, It may be contract system, it can be claim system, it can be planning or scheduling system, it can be whatever system you think works. That must work efficiently, that must work perfectly, and if it is not perfect, there is defect in that, there is problem in that. We have to check out, we have to restudy, we have to review, and we have to see, no, this doesn't meet in. Just like what we do, see, when we take over some project, we take over even some bid, we have to go through that bid. If you have chance of that, I think in your lifetime, maybe you are in construction, you are in designs, you are not in contracts, or you are not in bidding, maybe you miss that. But doesn't matter, miss or don't miss, it is question of common sense. If suppose I get some document that you have to review this tender document or bid document and tell us how it works, should we go for this, should we not go for this, then as an engineer, what should I do? That's my point, means I should have that quality pattern in me that can assess, or you can say I can assess all documents of that bid documents, you can say, at that stage, and I should understand them, and I can understand them only when I have some experience, and I can understand each and every point. But okay, I had experience, or directly or indirectly, I am not a new engineer. I understand plus and minus, or you can say results of that if I miss something or if I add something. I should have at least some knowledge about each and every document. It may be designs, it may be specifications, it may be, you can say, project scope, it can be with different sections of design or different disciplines of designs, or it may be claims, or it may be tender documents, conditions, what we call contract data, or what does it mean, and what are details everywhere, and what are codes specified. Means I should not say I should be thorough in them, but at least you should be at coordination level, at communication level, that those documents which are given to us should be clear to us first. And it involves all sections, all sub-disciplines in construction and designs everywhere. We should have some knowledge of design, at least to see that design is going to work like this. I'm not saying you have to justify that, but at least to have apprehension. For example, there is no foundation in that design, so there is a question. Or foundation doesn't suit requirement, that can be a question. Or if the quantity looks very, very heavy, you can say multi times it should be. So that assessment must be made. It may be called bid organization management, you may call it health and safety management, you may call it legal issues, you may call it technical issues, whatever you can call it. You have to go through those documents. In this computer age, it's not very difficult to go through, because you have to sit on computer and not going page by page. And even if there was no computer, you should have gone through that. That's your duty, because you have to set price for that. And that price should not be you can say, incorrect one. If you miss some item, you have to suffer. I still remember many cases when in our one of organizations I saw one quantifier, one tenderer, one bidder, I mean to say assistant, missed one, that was a bid engineer, he missed one major item. And another person missed another item. Means they were in panic to do job. They had set some date to submit that, but they did not study tender very well. Studying bid is very significant part, and that's called quality of tender working. I mean, you have to work, you are in bid section, you say, no, I'll just price it. Means you cannot just price it. You have to know first what you are going to do, because once you get this contract, then you have to do it. Particularly lump sum fixed prices. I'm not talking of item rates prices, where quantities are measured. Where measured quantities are available, you have a system like, okay, your measured quantities, these are items, you have to apply these items, you have to work on these items, and then you are paid unit price of this item. Where real management will be done, that is different kind of, I mean to say, system. I'm talking of lump sum fixed price system, where of course BOQ is given, but that BOQ has no legal weight. That BOQ, which is bill of quantities, we call it given, but that doesn't carry any weight, because it's just a guide document, and you don't depend upon that. It's clearly written on these bids. Do not depend on quantities given by tender documents, because quantity is first of all not a legal document. It's your duty, because you are giving a fixed price, lump sum price. You have to make sure that every item, every work that falls, that is covered within the scope of that bid, should be included in your calculations based on drawings received to you. And if you are not clear about those drawings or about those documents or those specifications, and you find some difficulty in that, or you are not able to understand something, it's your duty to raise questions on that, and that's called 10 bid query. And bid query may be relevant to claim, may be relevant to items, may be relevant to drawings, may be relevant to specifications, or may be relevant to contract data, or it may be relevant to something else, or clashes among various drawings and disciplines, which are part of coordination. And every point should be made clear, because this is not one or two or three documents, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of documents. You will find 2 or 3 or 4 volumes of bid. Then many times, even you have soft copy, then you have to go through all those parts of that, and you have to understand what you are going to do. You have to understand the scope of work in this bid, what is the scope of work, and what they have given. Does it come under scope, or what comes in that, or what doesn't come in that? We have to check that. That is a very important exercise, and if you can do that all thoroughly, I can say you are a quality bid engineer. That's where quality lies in. I'm not saying I'm talking a bid because there's no question. Quality bid is also having quality based working. It has your own procedure. I'm not saying you follow some book for that, or you chart out your own system, because there is no interference with you. You may be working with some quantity surveyors or quantity engineers, or some others quality people, or you can say budget people, or project scheduling people may associate with you for consultancy or for reference. Or some legal mind also may be there, though it's not required very much, because every engineer who deals contracts or bids, that engineer knows, I think, adequately enough that I don't care for comma or for semicolon or for this language, that language. In contract, language is different. It's not translation or grammar of English language, or you can say comprehension is required, apprehension is required. You cannot analyze each and every word, because every term, every clause has some practical meaning, some applicable meaning, and that must be valued rather than going into punctuation of that sentences. Because though it's better if you do as much as you can do according to English, but practically it is not English subject. It is engineering work, it is construction work, it is documentation work, it is implication work. We have to understand that point. Means we have to decide what we have to do. For every major bid, we have to constitute some team, and that team should contain all members. There should be some lead member, or you can say coordinator, who has to work on coordination while others should be having disciplinary responsibilities. You can say quantification of various disciplines. You need someone. You require some according engineer. You can say related engineer. For example, there is concrete work, there is civil work. All civil items should be handled by a civil quantity surveyor. Mechanical piping is there. Mechanical engineer should be there. Electrical work, electrical engineer should be there. Or some, you can say, if you don't have all sections, in that case you have to invite some other contractors who would be your subcontractors or sub-bidder, you can say this time. And then you have to work on technical. All these items are covered in technical. Then you should have, means there should be one person and other persons, to whom one person who is coordinator can feed them. That coordinator is very much responsible. You can say a kind of organizer for that bid. And this, I'm not talking of small bids, I'm talking of major bids, where you may say billions or millions of dollars are involved, and billions of rupees are involved. I'm talking very much professional, because that is question of money, that is question of time, that is question of cost, that is question of quality, that is question of, you can say, your reputation, your organization reputation. Because once you get bid, you are a contractor. It's not ordinary issue. Contractor doesn't have a public think about contractor, means professional contractor. I'm not talking, you can say, just a contractor. A professional contractor, because we are having certificates of qualification. We are having, even if I'm a contractor, I have certificates. It doesn't mean I cannot be. I am an engineer. I am very much perfect to be a contractor. I am very much qualified to be a contractor, because we are certified, we are experienced, and this experience or these certificates are very valuable, and that's what I say. In that case, there should be no question. You can say that was a quality, safety, health, and ergonomics we are talking about. We talk of always. It's very important point for everything, and quality required everywhere, also in documentation, working of bids, or you can say it's a part of engineering. And life is engineering. This means my professional life says engineering. So contracting is also my professional life. Supervision is also my professional life. You can say designing or execution or prosecution of activities. All these you can say come under preview of that. That you know quality, again I say, it's not quality of work, it's quality of system, it's quality of individual, it's quality of machines, it's quality of, you can say, whatever else you think. It is the quality of available information. Whatever information we should have in our libraries, it may be library or your own system. That's what we have to consider in, and that's the reason that I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to discuss with you this inspection program, because inspection cannot be generalized. This file I'm showing to you just a sample from some project, but it's not my concern to show you that one. My concern is difference. Whatever we have to understand about first what this work is, what this document is, what this project is. Before inspection of that project, you have to go through that. Once you go through that, you can understand if you are there in that position, what problems you would have faced. Okay, you are an inspector, you are an investigator, you are an auditor. But before being auditor, you must have experience. You cannot simply become auditor. And you should know practicalities on site, practical problems on site. You should know what problems these engineers would face, these supervisors would face, this organizer would face, this company would face. It's not a question that you are going to support them, but it's a question of ultimate what actually we need. What do we need ultimately? Our objective is that this project should be delivered in a quality way. This should be delivered as quality built in quality system. That is what is required. Quality system means all disciplines on this project should be quality based. There may be designs, you can say. Designs, it can be design of all disciplines. It's not simply structural design I'm talking. I am not talking one discipline. I'm talking architectural. Before everything feed, then architectural, and you can say what is feed. You know feed actually I every time repeat FEED, that is front end engineering design, which is basis of all designs. This actually guides, this actually mandates that you have to follow these procedures. You have your destiny, your you can say your permanent requirement is this project. How would this project operate? How it can be better operated, how it can be better designed, keeping the maintenance cost, keeping the other costs. Every cost has to be kept in mind, and future, you can say, possible reduction of possible problems, reduction of possible accidents, and you can say increasing durability of this, whatever it is, and efficiency of project. People should not feel more problems, major problems. They should be efficient. They should work with respect, with efficiency, and technology that is used should be all right, should be better, and you can say should be well tested, and only then you can say we go on. So there is, you can say, inclusion or involvement of each and every discipline, and that's what I'm saying. These designs for everyone: architectural design, structural design, services designs of all, you can say HVAC, air conditioning, electrical, electronics, instrumentation, you can say surveillance or security, or whatever specific design may be there, and then function of that processing plant or that structure of building, what sort of building it's going to be, or what sort of structure, or you can say what sort of trains are involved in that processing plant, various areas, what do they say, and where is location of that, what is possible geography of that area, what is possible geotechnical, you can say geotechnical requirement of that area. All this must go through, and it takes some time. You cannot say you can just do in 1 hour. If you are experienced well, you can take 1 day and you can find what this is. I have gone through many such bids, major or minor, even up to billions of dollars, and it didn't take much time because you have basis of BOQ. I'm not saying BOQ is reliable, but at least it gives an idea. And we have scope of work, and if you just key plan of that, you can say, if you know key plan, or if you study one or two drawings or a specification, instead you can find, you can understand very well. Because generally you cannot say everything is wrong. No, there can be clashes, but those clashes cannot stop you comprehending that project. That comprehension is very important, and once you get that into, I get an idea what is scope will say. If it's well defined, if that engineer has taken pain in that, if that engineer is painful enough, who designed this, or this team of engineers, you can get from the scope of work itself what this project is going to cause problem, what these problems are, how can we avoid those problems. And once you understand that project, at least really at the preliminary stage, without even starting detailed work, because you or your company may like to know whether they should go for this project or they should not go for this project. For that decision, it can be called a policy decision. You can say, what is policy decision? Policy of our company or organization is that we should go for this project or we should not go for that project. And that is not decided by you or by me or by your manager. It has to be decided by board of company, or you can say by charter head. Means I'm talking of charter. Charter means project charter. When you have to start some project, a profession says that you start some charter which clearly defines what this project is, what are reasons that we have to reject that submission, or what are reasons or what should be reasons that we should not go for this, or we are busy in other projects, we don't have enough resources for this project, or we should wait for another project which may be much better than this. It's called policy. Every work cannot be done by every company, every organization. If you don't have resources, you cannot just for one project take responsibility for others. And yes, if your project is going to be finished within a couple of months or within a half year, then you can say, okay, by that time this will be awarded. We can come out of that project and we can do this one, and this is good, favorable for us, because it's not very difficult project. And when you chart of list of items, we can handle these items, we can handle this material, we can handle these machines, we can all do this, and we are enough design team who can take care of these. We have mechanical team, electrical team, civil structural team, architectural team, and whatever else, specialist team, or we have subcontract. We can say appoint subcontractors that can associate with us, and this is nothing big deal. It happens in practice. So what I am saying is, health and safety are one of those. Safety, health, environment, and quality is also one of that. Quality, I think people might have been boring sometimes talks of quality, talks of safety, health. We understand safety, health, but question is not understanding, question is application. I have seen people, they want to avoid money on safety, health just to please their bosses. Not me, don't worry. Safety, health, and you can say environment are like air you respire. It's oxygen of project. It's oxygen. Because if your people are happy, you're happy, health-wise, safety-wise, you have free mind to work. If every time I think, okay, I don't want to go to up levels, you can say on heights where I can fall from. If I think that way, I can't work. Means I should feel that there is every possible safety factor involved. Every, you can say, precaution has been taken. Precaution from accident viewpoint. Every precaution has been taken. Then I would feel comfortable, because there are remote chances of accidents. It's not if I am worker, if I am engineer, or if I am supervisor. I am responsible for that as supervisor, as foreman, as engineer, as organizer, manager. It's my responsibility for those people. I know that responsibility doesn't mean that if something happens, I will pay. It's not that. But I can face jails if law applies. I can lose my reputation. So safety, health, and environment is very delicate subject. It's not to that delicate you have to conduct nuclear research, but it's enough if you use superficial mind in relation to what sort of activities. Ultimate objective is our people should be safe, our workers should be safe, our crew should be safe, and before that, every staff should be safe, every engineer should be safe. If engineer is safe, staff is safe, we can take care of these people. If we ourselves are not safe, how can we take care? And it doesn't cost much, it costs only concentration. I can say it costs concentration, it costs thinking, it costs attention. Just like we attain to quality system, if we give good quality, we have to attain to that system. And that system is nothing very new. It depends only, I remind every time what you have to do. System means, follow up of system means, don't cram what system says, understand that. Cramming is not an answer, understanding is answer. Understanding is very important in system world, and that we have to understand. Just like when it says safety, health and environment, here we have to understand safety and health. It doesn't mean means you have to follow what is written. You make your own. You make your own. It's only guide. If you make your own and chart out programs in that case. Chart out program. What program is there? But some are very general, which everybody can do. There's no mean, just by say induction to sites. It's very, very common. Means you join a site as a worker, or you join as, or you start as a site. You start as a manager or organizer of the project. You are given responsibility. Okay, you are site agent of this project, or your contractor's agent, or your project leader. Whatever you may be, you have to start that one. Means you have higher responsibility, key responsibility on that project. Then you have to organize everything. Now you must have concept for that project, and that concept is possible only when you know what site is, what is soil geography and location and history. Possibly if you know from soil investigation, then you should go through. You must have some work done at home before going to site. You must have done some planning, though it may not be, but at least some planning of how to start a job. That is called mobilization, which is also about 1 month or 2 months sometimes, depending on what. Sometimes so many items are left during mobilization that these go on moving and moving until 25% or 30% of work is over. So what I say, though formally it is 1 month, mobilization is written in the contracts, but that is a formality. It continues actually until demobilization starts. You can say project is very different. It depends upon individuals how they organize that. And every engineer is well educated, well qualified, well experienced to understand that. If you are a real engineer, if you are engineer, or if your title is different, means your mind should be engineer's mind, your activity should be engineer's activity, and you should have grasping power. Because what you study in school, that's different. That's entirely different. Here it's practical work. Here it's real work. You can say accountability is involved, cost is involved, yourself are involved, and if you make mistakes, remember, you lose lot. Mistakes are easy to do. If I do wrong, if I do mistaken, even though it's by ignorance or even though it's lack of my control, because I cannot be present everywhere all the time, and some people make mistakes and it's not even known at that time, and that mistake is very critical because some people, some juniors want to hide something for their own safety or for their protection from action viewpoint. They forget, okay, maybe you are given some warning, you did wrong work, but if this is detected later on, where shall you stand? You have to see that point. It is construction. If it is done wrongly, it costs a lot, particularly civil construction. Because in mechanical machine production, it's not that much because they do many times. But here everything is one time. If I do structure of one project or at many structures in the same project, every structure is different. So you cannot say I repeated it. Yes, there may be repetitions in certain cases, I can't say, but soil may be different. Likewise, foundation is same, but soil property is not same. There is different settlement. There are so many issues. I'm not going to enter into those because this is not that type of discussion. This is a discussion everybody should understand what I'm talking about. So we have to take care of safety first. That's very important. And safety means safety, health, and environment. You should understand this point. If you can understand and realize this point and apply this point as well, I can say first problem is over. It's not easy. Safety exists and must exist everywhere in every act, even if you mobilize at that time or you demobilize at that time, and during whole duration, currency of project, whole currency of project or construction, you can say. I'm saying project because when you do something, you open some site and start some work and you deliver that site to client up to this difference of time or this duration of time from start or takeover of site to deliver site to client to owner. This is called project duration. There may be different project durations, there may be different types of projects, but this duration is called project duration, and when this is completed, it becomes an asset for nation, asset for everyone, and this runs itself or this is operated. Then you cannot say it's a project. It cannot be called project but operational, and your job is over. But until you deliver it and maintain it or successful come out of that, there is a lot of work to be done. Lot of work. It's health wise, safety, controls, quality, planning, review, means all. Just like we say when we start some building, we say excavation, and before excavation we have to do setting out, and before setting out we have to use GPS, and we have to know what this site is, where this location is, where this coordinates for building, where is coordinates for foundations or whatever it is. We have to raise up levels of whole site for site preparation. That's called, sometimes when you have to protect, even buildings are raised. So in some cases we don't want this building to stay in water for long, so we raise it so that water cannot harm surroundings of building. And same is plant. The plants are not high rise, these are ordinary heights, but question is not that. Question is safety and quality. On plant, safety is not only counted during construction or during currency of project, but also during its operational stage. Both are different. Operational stage is continuous one, and during project currency there are variance in safety levels, and those safety levels depend on type of project. It's not that safety applies here shall apply except general safety of inductions, means there are general activities you can say that apply everywhere. Means fire hazards could be there, which we have to avoid. That's also very important. If you can't think of fire hazards, you cannot think of anything. Fire hazards, or you can say some other problems, explosion, you can say that can happen. And as we discussed before, ordinary activities where ordinary safety is also involved, and we can say critical activities, or you can say hazards, those generally we call job hazard assessment or analysis. Then we have to use some cards for that. It may be called start card, or we can also use verbal instructions like toolbox talks. It depends, means I'm not standing specifically with one or two. I'm here for whole, and that's why I'm not browsing very fast today, because it's just indicative, and we have to take care of these. As I said, hazards means chemical hazards, there could be noise, there could be manual handling hazards, there could be temperature extremes, there could be biological, and there could be radiation, there could be dust and fume, and there could be driving hazards or whatever else. Nowadays COVID-19 itself is a hazard, though it cannot be called hazards. Now people are taking care of this, but hazard is hazard. When it came, it was hazard, COVID-19. Now everybody knows what is COVID-19, but knowing is not sufficient. Again I say, application, precautionary measures application, that is very important, that should be very important. I just insert again same talk, that we have to be very sure we are safe from COVID-19, at least if not say protective. You can say protection is always very important, and according to me, only real protection is even if you have vaccination or you don't have vaccination. I extract one point only from whatever has happened since November 9, 2019, that only way is to keep yourself safe, your nose and your mouth, your eyes also, but nose and mouth are very elementary, very primary requirements that must be met. I mean to say, using mask, only an alternative in addition to eyeglasses, because you have no right to infect others and others have no right to infect you. So simple. So simple equation of society all over world. You protect yourself and protect others. We say in driving system, defensive driving, which means first you protect yourself and others. Don't race, because race in driving shall not work, but defensive driving would work. Okay, you may be 2 minutes late. You can start 2 minutes early from your home and you start and drive safe. Safe driving means your safe life. Hazardful driving or rash driving means life as at risk. Life is at risk. We have to keep in mind, my life is important or my death is important or my disability, physical disability would be important. This point we have to keep in mind. I know many people don't think while driving, because once you have steering in your hands, you think you are the owner of this car and you can do whatever you want to do. You think of overtaking, then you think of, you can say speed of 200 or 300. There have been cases people were trying at 200 or 250 or some say 200 miles even. There are new cars, new engines, everything, it can be driven. But I think that's not required. Your mind should be with that speed, not car. Mind should be that efficient, not car. After all, mind does everything. That car designer who designed that engine, that designer uses mind, researcher uses mind, engineer uses mind, doctors uses mind. If these people do not use mind, there's no meaning of being doctor. You cannot become a doctor if you can't use mind. You cannot become an engineer if you cannot use mind. You cannot become whatever you want to become if you don't use mind. Means I'm talking about professions. I'm not talking about non-professions like politicians, like shopkeepers, and like we call them we can say occupation. We can call them, you can say trades. Means of course politics is a trades these days. It's no more social service. It's nothing. You cannot say. In fact, politics name should be removed. There should be something else. Means people should understand, but the responsibility is more important. But all over the world, a narcotism of robbery is going on. There have been cases in the past also. So I can say quality of politics cannot be discussed because there is no quality in politics. And even where it should be in technical work or in production or manufacturing or in construction, quality doesn't exist. That is true. Means today you cannot buy some item, some engineering goods, thinking that it shall work for years. You cannot do that. If you think, means you may be positive, you may be an optimist, but irrespective of which nation company it is, all trend everywhere is same. They give you discount. Why should someone give discount? My question is because that person knows there is a problem, and these equipment which we buy, gadgets we buy, we don't find into them that system, and that's where I'm concerned. It's not only quality in system, it's quality in character, it's quality in performance, it's quality in maintenance, it's quality in understanding, it's quality in quality itself. Every work should be quality based, and quality based means every work, every section, every design, every division, whatever. That's why I say in title, field engineering, civil field engineering. Do not confuse with civil discipline. Civil means people here. Public engineering, you can call it engineering for people of world. Civil means society. It's not only construction of brickwork or blockwork or RCC. No, it's not simply that. I am a qualified civil engineer. It doesn't mean I cannot think of machines. It doesn't mean I can think of electrical, because when I studied civil engineering, I had to study mechanical engineering, I had to study applied thermodynamics, I had to study elements of engineering, fundamentals of electrical engineering, and also social sciences I studied. So there's so many subjects we had to study in those days, and these were not that I will play in field with someone in social engineering or on social science, I'll compete with someone. It was not that. But you have to deal with human resources. That is also a kind of society. You have to deal with public relations, though it's temporary or it's for time being. Even then, that's a part of society. Or you can see you have to deal with vendors, though it's commercial, but somewhere and somehow these are also involved in society. So that's why we say it's complete complex. We have to understand quality world, safety world in a very different way. It's not that it is something you do not like. It is same way you like or you do not like. You have to respire, you have to breathe. You can say it's breadth of profession. Good safety, good quality, required quality, because you have to define that or somebody in your place has defined that. That definition exists in contracts, that not in contract documents, it may be in codes also. It may be in national or international codes, or it may be somewhere in some law and rules of engineering, though there is no system as such, but whatever we say, we have to do a kind of drawing we produce. Whatever drawings we produce, that itself is indicator of system, because you are a legislator there for that work. In fact, you have to think like that. Once you design, combined team designs, and this work is accepted by everyone, you have to follow this, to comply with this requirement. We want this type of design, or maybe there are amendments sometimes. You have to take into consideration material aspect, technical aspect, and you can say time aspect, and workability aspect, and buildability aspect, and constructionability aspect while you design something. Means your design should not pose problem on site. People, they can't even understand first, and if they understand, they don't know what to do, how to do. There's no indication what you have to do, how to do. Everything is left to you. That design is only theoretical, I can say. That design should also think about how shall be constructed. When you know it can be easily constructed this way, then you have to detail out that one. You cannot simply say, no, it's easy. You first do yourself. You to think of. Can you derive, can you describe how this shall be done? If you can describe that, I think you know what is to be done. Maybe it's done differently, but at least you have taken into consideration how many percent variation will be, 1%, 2% in time, but quality shall come out, and maybe those in construction, they know better than you, but at that time of bid writing, you do not know who that gentleman or gentle company would be. That's why we have to depend on ourselves, and in designs, educated engineers are there, qualified engineers are there, experienced engineers too are there, and they should think of that way. Just don't think I have to prepare a BOQ, means you have to understand that. General items are known to everybody, means civil item at least everybody knows. Only grading comes into play, and mechanical engineers know about machines, and electrical engineers know about electrical work. They know everything. So writing a specification, of course, is time consuming, and first time you write this will take some time. But you are not going to do, you can say, use grammar or translation that, but simple one. And we can see we can produce specifications. This we can write what you are going to do in this project. That's what I can say. There's a kind of mind work. It's a kind of something that you are going to use your mind, or your 2 or 3 persons or 4 persons are there, professional persons who are busy in those contract documents, compositions. And this means they know once, first time they do, second time they will be much, much better, third time will be equivalent to though I know everything. So I should not say I know everything, but the kind of statement it becomes, we should know, we understand what it is. If it's understanding, everybody has to understand, and that's best way. If I understand, so it's fine, means I should not waste time. Why should I waste time? So I'm saying, life is not what we think it is. Life means your life. Life has many parts of that: personal life, private life, married life, isolation life, and you can say life to think and life to do. If you think to do something, you may do it, you may not do it. If you may not do it even after your thinking, means there is some point which is missing, and then you have to relocate that point where this point missed. What was the reason I missed that point? If I find that answer, I think there should exist no problem, this doctor, no problem that I cannot cross, and problems have to be crossed. Crossed means it doesn't mean jump on that. It means you understand problem and find solution. That's what we say in our analytical system, we can say quality system. What is this quality? We say we define every day. No need of defining. You can see yourself what is quality, how it works, and what engineer has to do, what are supposed to do. Should they worry about this or not? And then we can say or designs about design something which should be decisive, safe and qualitative and reliable. And then stages of design are, you can say, all stages designs being significant, but merely design doesn't alone suffice. If construction if construction and development are not affected to specified marks, required or defined quality requirement cannot be allowed to be ignored. Design drawings must have quality input and duly coordinated to produce working details, keeping abreast site working conditions and work culture, for site cannot be relied upon automatically, but provide clear notes specified properly and explicitly in a good communicative manner. And we can say again that construction based on reasonable coordinated constructible quality designs and safety health environment, all activities must be taken care of, but it doesn't happen. Reasons being lethargy in attitude and undue strains in minds. Why should site work suffer? Because of deficiencies in design. Design's accountability must be fixed if accountability on constructed product element is required. As I said before, designs and constructions, again I say, designs and construction qualities are complementary to each other, and without integrated coordination, activities worked upon shall result in lesser quality production. Construction method statement, which is a must for work implementation, and therefore must be charted out professionally. No concession can be allowed in this case, in this activity. Method statement or work procedure is a must, and if it should tell formally about what to do. And if it do not tell what to do, people are very smart. Those who don't have education background, don't have technical background, but they have working background. That is much more important, because those people who have no formal academics, but they learn from their forefathers, from their fathers, or from ITI, or from some other, wherever they work, they learn. And that physical learning, maybe sometimes it's not quality one, but they do non-quality one, and they think it's okay, it's right. That's what I'm saying. Every person has different background. Every team has members have different background, and they can do something in their own ways, and which are diverse ways. And those diverse ways cannot be used all one time. That is only reason that we have to select out. Even we consult them, no problem. We can consult our workers, artisans, specialists. We can consult our engineers, construction people. We can consult everybody. It doesn't matter, because whatever you write shall be reviewed by everyone. Or after making a statement, they can comment on that, the same thing. Keep in mind that contracting engineer or contractor and consultancy or consulting engineer, they have different approaches. But don't forget, both are engineers. Contractor cannot work without the engineer. Same way, engineer is engineer itself, or subordinates are all engineers. Though it may not happen in contracting, all are engineers, because it's not possible that everywhere engineer is employed in all activities. Engineer has to take responsibility, and that responsibility is to be disposed of, is to be, we can say, clearly worked upon. If I think that I am a contractor and this person is an engineer, this engineer shall like to see my mind, what I do to this, and that mind can be experienced through method statement or construction statements or work statement or whatever you can say it is. Generally in construction it's very important. Maybe in mechanical world, electrical world, it may not be that important. They are important also, but because it's mechanized system, electronic system, digital system, most activities are done formally. Only I think supervision of surveillance is there. Every program is charted out and automatically it moves. In some cases there also manual work is done. But in civil construction, in building construction, in plant civil structure, everything is to be done on site. Because it is natural work, it is natural mix up, it is natural production, we use natural materials, we do not play with them. This comes from universe, earth, this earth, world earth, you can say. This gives us everything from its surface, from its, I can't say from its heart because we have not seen heart of earth. So that's what I'm saying. Civil construction is very much involved. It is related to quality, it is related to system, it's related to it's a formula, it's related to design details, it is related to procedures, and that procedure, designers can decide their procedure. I'm not going to question their procedure. As far as design is constructible, as far as designer keeps in mind problems on site, problems on engineers, problems on contractor, they should understand contractor is a professional. They should not say, oh, he's a contractor, I don't care. No, no, no. You have to depend upon that contractor if you have to give him contract. You can't do contracts. You can't do works without contractor because you are not well experienced about every activity on project. So we can say, I cannot condemn contractor. Just thinking term itself as a contractor. Contractor is very professional term, it's very honorable term, very respectable term, on same pattern as engineer is. Engineer is respectable in contract. That engineer is, you can say, engineer in contract title position, not ordinary engineer. Every engineer has to report to contract engineer, and contractor engineer is a consultant of honor, not employee. Even if he is in employee status, but it's consultant of honor, and it is independent. In fact, engineer or in lump sums, we can say contractors, not contractor, honors representative. It's a representative means it presents honor, and it comes, you can say, when it's honors representative, part it is engineer also. Engineer term is included in that employers or honors representative, while it is only construction contract. There's a difference I'm just trying to say. In construction contract, which are also lump sum fixed price, means you don't have to design yourself. You are delivered a design, complete design, on which you can work on shop drawings and drawings wherever required. That construction contract, clear term is engineer, that is responsible for design and supervision. That engineer I'm talking of is contractual engineer in your construction contracts, and same engineer becomes an integrated part of employer's representative. So employer's representative is engineer itself plus administrator. In construction also it is administrator plus, you can say, designer. While only part is design or feed, you can say feed and design, which are included in your EPC, engineering, procuring and construction contracts, are not included in construction contracts, C contracts, you can say. This is only difference, but on industrial projects this difference doesn't work, because honor is not enough for technical work. Maybe honor is engineer itself, maybe qualified, but we have to take it in different positions. So where these contracts are concerned, we must have contract knowledge. We must know what this contract is about. What sort of claims can be raised by contractor, that's a risk factor we should understand. We cannot play all time, okay, you shake hand, that's different, or you wish namaste, that is different. You should have working relations, professional working relations. But as far as contract is concerned, you cannot do justice you cannot do injustice to your honor. You can also not do injustice to your contractor, and that's why I say it's a contract based on equity. We have to respect both. We have to respect honor. We have to respect engineer, or you can say employer's representative. We have to respect contractor, and we have to respect all others. That is very important point. It may be safety requirement, it may be health or environment requirement, it may be, you can say, quality requirement, or it can be whatever requirement, where there is only one relation, that contractor agrees that contractor would deliver this project according to your requirement, according to what scope of work it is. Everything shall be done in exchange of that money, that fee of contract, not fee exactly, the price of contract, and also that You have to understand that engineer, because engineer is responsible for designs, engineer is responsible for supervision, though it's not direct responsibility, guided responsibility, you can say advisory responsibility, mandate responsibility, because job of engineer is to ensure whatever his work is done according to designs. And that's where important lies in. And designs means all disciplines, it's not one or two. And safety as well as quality play very significant role in such topics, on such contracts which are real contracts, you can say, which would add assets to your nation. Civil only is an engineering where assets are added. Assets are others also in mechanical engineering, but those assets are not long living. Machines we buy, these machines every year are, you can say, depreciated, and we can say in 5 years cost may be zero, or you need another amount equal to purchase amount so that you can continue to buy another machine, and previous machine becomes, you can say, scrap, or it has to be recirculated, its material may be recirculated. That's a different point of view we have to understand here, and that's my concern. I don't say that everything should be perfect. Everything must be perfect, not should be. My talk be perfect. Maybe I slip this way or that way because of being human. I cannot exactly express all times what you want to listen. I am little boring person, of course. You think that I am boring person. Yes, I am. I am very, very boring person. Such a boring person. I feel myself I am talking sometimes. But because you think, what I said, thinking is very important. Thinking is a tool that helps you a lot. You think as much as you can and you will find as much as you can. Thinking, it cannot cost you. You are not to pay to shopkeeper about thinking. And you can say, you can think, and you must have experience of that. It depends on your thinking. It's not my thinking. Your thinking is very important for me, for everybody. But now I think in this time, in this age, in this scenario, when people do not think a lot, they think comparatively. Thinking and comparative thinking. Though I have not written comparative thinking, I have written concentration, because direct equation of thinking is concentration. Direct result is concentration. Thinking is directly proportional to concentration, and concentration is directly proportional to thinking. So you can say thinking and concentration work together. There is another thinking also, which is counter thinking, or you can say thinking to go oppose someone. If I lead in thinking, being a scientist, being an engineer, or being someone else, I issue some statement. There would be other people who would be not happy, who would not be happy with my statement, because I have taken initiative and I issued, you can say, made a statement on something, or you can say in sequence also I state statements. But my colleagues, those who are not happy with me, or those who want them only to come in the picture, there are some people with psychological mind who think it's my right only because I am senior to that person, I have more education with that person, or they compare with each other. I don't know reason for that. I don't understand why to compare with others. Yes, you can compare for evaluation purpose. That is different. But what I do, what I think, and what other is thinking, I don't want that person to think that way of the state. What is this? Why are you interested in encountering my thinking when I am not doing anything? Because I am a thinker. If I am a thinker, my thinking cannot be imposed on your thinking, and your thinking cannot be imposed on somebody else's thinking. But thinking is a unit here. Thinking is a process here. Thinking is not single item. Thinking is not single stage. Thinking goes on and on and on. And if you focus on one item, you will, increase, you will augment quantity of thinking there. There will be so many units of thinking on that focus. You will be surprised yourself. Did you think this much? You see, what happens when you think something and you say something about that or write something about that, you do thinking further and further and further, and your mind becomes expanded. Like, it takes more area, it takes more coverage, at least for that moment when you think and think and think and think and think. That time volume of thinking aura increases, and you feel happy. But once you forget that, you stop that thinking, it disappears. It doesn't mean it goes away. It disappears means those thinking files sleep. Simply saying, hibernate them. But when you do again, these come up. And within that the gap, when you do again and when you hibernate, there's some gap. This gap allows rest to your cells. And this is where regeneration happens. Energy is given to those thinking by your body, by your system. You don't feel that maybe, but you get up or you come back, you reinstate that thinking, you will find tremendous power there. Oh, I can move further. This thinking will go again more and more root, and that converts to concentration. But why should other worry about that? Nobody can stop your thinking. Your degree cannot stop my thinking. My mind cannot be stopped by your mind. That is what intellectualism is. Intellect. You can go to whatever heights, you can go to whatever radial length, you can do whatever you can do. I'm not going to stop you, because my mandate is not to stop you from thinking. In fact, I feel very happy when somebody thinks and justifies. Not like what's happening these days in COVID-19. Every day you find different types of statement, confusing statement, mix-up statement. One says something, another says another thing. It is about how this disease happened, how this is came, how it involved, whole history is known, it's years now. It's about, I think, around 2 years or maybe quarter to 2 years. Everybody wants to publish something without any total work. Even vaccinations have been inoculated all over the world, at least to 50% population, if not all. They try to justify even failures. There may be failures. I'm not saying failures are not acceptable. It has happened. Something is going on in trial. Whole world is under trial, you can say. Whole world population is under trial of vaccination. That's also a fact of life. You may formally accept it or you may not accept it. It doesn't matter. It has been ongoing, and those people who are interested in this business, they do not want to know what others criticize for. They want to stop them, and that's the reason they support this. I'm not against it. I'm not in support. This is science. There is medicine or not medicine, but it is a precautionary measure according to claims, but I don't accept them also, because precautionary measures do not need that much attention. It's big world. Everybody wants to make money. That's also true, and money making is more important for them than dealing with COVID-19. I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying this is only for COVID-19. Means thinking. You think there and do something, and of course it takes time. But now at this stage I can say there's no dearth of scientists or doctors on our earth. And they are well educated, very well educated. They all have, you can say, redundant degrees. Redundant means these degrees are not used. If these are used, these can't be called degrees which are redundant, but these are called useful degrees. So far I can clearly chart out result that COVID-19 has failed all. You may say, we have saved so many people. We have saved so many people from death. You can say, you are a human being, you can claim anything. You can claim whatever you want to claim. Nobody is stopping you. I'm not stopping you. But when sun rises, you see light everywhere, illumination everywhere, and when sun is not in our zone, we can say it's darkness. I don't think Sun has worked here in COVID-19. Sun has not done anything so far because still COVID-19 currency, you can say, just like a contract currency we call it, means this contract currency means duration when contract remains in function. Same duration when COVID-19 is in function, we can say it is currency of COVID-19 and this is currency of COVID-19. And so means we are having this difficulty and we cannot say this is final or that is final, because I did not find scientists till now patient. Patient means have patience. Everybody is in panic. Every second day, third day, in 1 week, 2 weeks, you will find some statements. Peer review or not. Every day says we are not sure about this. Some statement is published, but they are not sure about this. Then why do you publish? This shall happen in 1 year, this shall happen in 2 years, this may happen, this may not happen. This is just called mixing of people, and people are mixed up. That's the problem. Those who are vaccinated, they think they are safe. And they claim those who are not vaccinated, they are not safe. I don't understand this. If those who have been vaccinated, they are safe, then why Delta impacts them? Question is, even if it's 2%, 1%, doesn't matter, it is impacting. It may impact others also. Only way is protect yourself. Simplest answer is protect yourself. As far as immunity levels are concerned, there are so many ways immunity can be topped. It can be uplifted. Uplifting immunization, uplifting your, you can say, body resistance is not difficult. You know what I say. Everybody knows. First is protection, then make up your health. How to make up, you know it very well. I need not explain. What diet you have to take, what water you have to take, what you have not to do, what you have to do. You know very well. No need explain all time. I don't want to repeat every time. And that's what I say. That we have to think, means what we have to now think and analyze actually. So far what has happened in these around 2 years, what happened from where to where we have started and gone to, where we are now and where we shall move to. That thinking is applied by everyone. People are just interested in physical effects, they are not interested in understanding. A lot of confusion is being created by heads of state. Lot of confusion is being created. Head of states think they are responsible. They don't listen to scientists sometimes, and scientists clash with them also, formally. This is not good. Because you can think of politics, that's fine. You can think of economy, that's fine. But economy shall not carry any result, any meaning, if health is not maintained, safety is not maintained. That's why we have to think now. I think it's right time that we have to stress on physical precautionary measures against COVID-19. Because if we could understand that, we would have understood it. We had not been able to understand, so we would not be able to do something. Whatever is being done, that's being done on ordinary trials. I cannot say this is conclusive trials. No problem. People are getting vaccinated. Some are getting help, some are not getting help. To some it suits, to some it doesn't suit. But if I think, okay, you get immunity because of these vaccines, fine, you get it. But protection is a must. Precautionary PPEs are a must. That we cannot say no. That's what I say, thinking and concentration is required in professional life. In our profession, we have a lot of items, many items in construction. Because construction is not civil alone. It is all disciplines involved. And when all disciplines are involved to be done at same point, same location, same work, then accordingly knowledge is required, information is required. If I am a construction engineer or civil engineer, I cannot stay on site and say, no, this is not my discipline, I can't touch it. Whatever other discipline being, it may be HVAC, it may be mechanical, it may be plumbing, it may be electrical, or it may be something else, whatever else it is. I have to understand the scope of those items, because I am a responsible person. I am not just civil engineer, I am site engineer, I am site leader, I am site organizer. So maybe I am not expert in that branch of engineering, but something I know because I studied that or I experienced that on projects, and same thing you do. You have experience of that, it's very, very fine. We can use that experience for our knowledge, and thinking and concentration, you can say, are very important activities in that. Again I say, analysis is our life. You can say it's a kind of mind tool, or we can say master tool, because master means mind, for work contemplation. Analysis is considered an exclusive engineering basis. Is considered an exclusive engineering basis, an intellectual tool that can penetrate into all problems and unearth required solutions, and there exists no way from where or through which analysis approaches could be avoided. It's a must. It's a must. All people, all problems to be understood by this approach. And that leads to synthesis. You would conduct many analysis, not one. One problem may have one analysis, or same problem have many analysis. Whole project may have hundreds of analysis. These analysis would be in designs. These analysis would be in construction. Though we may not write somewhere what analysis we conduct, but every proposition itself is based on analysis. Every work that you can say, I am sure this can be done that way, that procedure, which way you want to do that, is a result of analysis, and it's called a kind of process that is synthesis. You have to add results of many analysis to chart out, to do something that, okay, I can decide, I have decided I would do this way, and that's part of some method statement, or that's a method statement in itself. Analysis is, you can say, power of engineer, because everybody cannot analyze. Even if we are engineers, we have lot of knowledge, but every engineer does not have lot of knowledge. It's not enough that your certificate is okay. You must do work only once you understand, once you decide how to do that. But to decide about how to do that, once you decide with full confidence that this can be done, and that you try to do it, and if you miss something, then you have to improve it. So thinking, concentration, synthesis, all these are very important in engineering world. If I don't do that, if we don't do that, as I said, we cannot learn anything. Even on a small building, you have to take care of all these. You have to do analytical designs, you have to do structural designs, then you have to do how to carry out these designs, how to work out on site. Everywhere, analysis, synthesis, application, thinking and concentration, all are involved. And it is our good time, our good, you can say, chance, opportunities after being civil engineer, that we have to do what we used to do in our education. Much more than that, we have to think. We have to think all time. And in student life, we never thought that much, because student life is only based on learning of something which you cannot learn otherwise. That's the reason I always stress on thinking and concentration and safety issues. So many safety topics we discussed there, and we have to understand them, what safety topics were. Then we talked of many issues, professional assistance and support. What is professional assistance? Can you assist someone or you are to be assisted? It depends on your experience, on your long seniority. If people have to depend upon you, if really you are involved in profession. Mind cannot stop remember. Only machine in our body is mind which can give us anything. Our mind is not something you can say it's material only. It's material based, but it's not material. It's much more than material. It's our soul, Atma, that sits in my mind, that works there. That does everything that others cannot do. What I think, I know. I know, you do not know that. What I think, I know. Maybe my mind is entirely different, or maybe my mind is defective. Or I don't have that stamina to reach something. Okay, I passed out from university. Because pass out is not important. What level of engineering knowledge you have, that's more important. It's not simply engineering, but what other subjects you passed. How much do you know? Maybe you forget that, but you know it. It's somewhere in your mind, located in your mind, which you have to retrieve. That's important. That's why I say, if we take out points on whatever work we do, and we can write them one by one, thinking, and we say, okay, this is a kind of statement, and I understand. We can implement this statement. That statement is, again we can say, in same answer, same style, that this statement is called procedure or method statement. The method statement, again I say, why I say it, because this is very important. People do not know it very well. Some people don't even use it, or some people don't even name it properly. I have heard many times people say not method statement, but say method of statement. They don't understand what they are talking. Well, it's English, I cannot criticize that also. The important point is, method statement is written for you also. It is written for others, but it's written for you also, because what I think, now what I chart out, if I write to that, I'm sure in one attempt I cannot write that. That is true. It's not just a counting table that we can say 1 to 100 we can write. It is something that we have to collect information from various sources. We should know for this method what are resources. What is resource, I mean to say, based on scope of this work. We have to understand why, first of all, I am writing this method statement. There should be some reason. And what is basis of that? What is specification for that? What material we are going for this? And you can say all that which requires approvals also. What is approval? It's approved or not? Then what about safety? Are taking care of not that? Or how will run safety on site for doing this job? That's also very, very significant, very important. We cannot leave it aside. We cannot throw it like anything, because this is very, very important one. We have to respect that. And if we can respect that, I can say we can respect ourselves, and that respect is very important. Writing method statement is a professional one, though it may not be patented one, because every contractor can write many statements for same thing. But I am not interested in that. It should be according to requirement. It should be according to, you can say, applications, genuinity. It should be according to quality system. It should have all safety requirements. It should have all materials involved. And then it should have, you can say, we should have those equipment which we are going to mention in that statement. And then a statement should be given in sequence. What we have to do first, what we have to do second time, and what is inspection stage. All these should come in that method statement so that it's clear to everyone, at least to those after approval of method statement who would use it on site. Everybody should know it's not simply a copy of paper I keep in my file and don't show to them. If I don't show to those who are going to work on this, I think that's a mistake and it can cause a problem. Therefore, we should consider method itself is very, very specialist activity, indispensable activity. If people follow it, it may be one time in the beginning, it would not help all workers, but direction should be given by those who are responsible for this. I don't think there should be any problem in method statement as far as it is question of availability of those items and of course availability of family members. In that discipline, whoever family members, electrical, mechanical, or all, I mean that, they should know and we should know, are they included in that statement? And if they are not included, why are not they included? Maybe they have other statements. Those people have different statements for their own discipline. Well, that's also acceptable because that's our statement. So method statement, I say we should know what is that, and it is not one, it's not two, it's for everyone to know. Everyone should be responsible for that, and I can say then ultimately we reach to a place that is called application basis, a place which must be achieved. We cannot say we would not achieve a place that is real life, a place where we create something from available materials, a place where effects of thousands and thousands hands have contributed, a place where we can say it is our pride, state pride or nation pride, and we can say that is delivery of project. We develop in society by industrialization. We develop by manufacturing. We develop by construction. And all these developments are called progressive achievement. Whole world depends on development, and without development, and there is no definition of development. Some people call some are developed countries, some call some others underdeveloping, and likewise people can classify whatever it can be. But I would say development means quality development. Develop doesn't mean concrete and mortar or railway track. It should be quality development, affordable development, and development for all. Engineering is that. It is for all. Though people may not believe it, but now they think that yes, it is for me. If you use a road, it's for you. If you use a walkway, it's for you. If you use your building, it's for you. If you use some bus, to a public sector bus, it's for you. Train is for you. Flight is for you. For whom? For everyone. If you want to avail that facility, you can avail. Engineering is different. Engineering, in fact, is unlimited. I can say massive. It is a mind, and I say it's thinking. Activity of mind is based on thinking. Activity of mind is based on comprehension. It's based on apprehension. It's based on learning. And learning, when I say, it's very important part. We have to learn everything. But learning alone would not do. We have to understand that. We have to understand how shall it fit in, how shall it be suitable, and that is important point here. We should care about. As I said, that life means what? Life means part of that portion of your total life that improves you. You can't claim since beginning I was smart or I was intelligent. I can't say that also, because I was not. I was low intelligent. I don't think that we should feel about that. It's not in my control, it's not in your control, it's not in somebody else's control. Life is life, work is work. And don't forget, whatever we do, it's not because of our contribution. Yes, our efforts, of course. I can't say contribution, but efforts. We do work, and that work is done because it's material which is available, it's human resources that is available, it is technology that's available, equipment that's available. And keeping in view all these, we work. This means this is based on some collection of resources, then based on some understanding, based on some procedure, how this work can be done, and we do it. Some people don't need method statement because they are absolutely sure for themselves, we will do only this. Okay, do it, but you have to explain to someone also. If you don't use that, it's not your property, you have to hand over to someone. And that handover person must have knowledge, means just doing and not explaining, or somebody not understanding, they do not know what to do. That's what I said, that engineering is very important. Term engineering itself, that I am using mind. Explanation of engineering can be, meaning of engineering can be that my mind is working and it is doing. Mind works and it does. Sometimes we say today I could not explain to them, or out of these 3-4 I got one answer. There may be many possibilities, there may be many requirements. We have to understand that. As I say, engineering, its design, its work, prosecution, its application, its synthesis, its thinking, its focus, it's all. Enrich your engineering. Don't depend on what people say. Think yourself. Engineering means thinkers. Engineering means those who can think. If I cannot think, I can't say I'm an engineer. Yes, I mean, what level education you have, that thinking also depends on that. The thinking also depends on that. It's very, very significant. We cannot take for granted engineering and we can say, okay, I have passed it and I changed my field. Then you won't be engineer. Simply speaking, you won't be engineer. Engineer is engineer. Once you have a habit of walking here and there, or searching for something, or you can say you have your own goal. You may be extraordinary. It is possible. In engineering, people can be extraordinary. Even they could not pass examination properly, because concentration goes to work. It's very important though, concentration goes to work. But can you work? Can you work? That's my question. Everybody is required to work if you are in engineering profession. Engineer means you cannot enjoy life. Simply speaking, don't take it otherwise. That is a fact of life. And particularly for civil engineers, I can call them sand engineers, aggregate engineers, cement engineers, water engineers, construction engineers, design engineers. All are involved, because without materials there is no meaning of design. If you design something based on your own and there is no material, what to do? From where you get that? It happens that We are human beings and we have certain some deficiencies. We have to understand those deficiencies. We have to understand our limit. We have to understand our limits, and we can say we have to live also. We have to protect ourselves, and those protections are very important, particularly for those people who work on sites, those workers. I should not say labor. I am also labor if they are labor. That they should have enough PPEs for them to, or with comfort they can work. We don't do any obligation if we give them this. This is their right, and this is our right to keep them protected. So we maintain our rights, they maintain their rights. You can say sometimes bad weathers, sometimes very hot. So whatever is required, they have to be given that. For example, respirators, ear defenders, safety harness, are examples only. Then safety shoes, safety overalls, safety glasses, or you can say whatever is possible depending on activity that we have to do. Then how to maintain it, and how to, you can see all these titles here. Means we conduct minutes of meetings also on projects. Meetings on that project. We conduct meetings, and minutes of meeting we call usually MOM. These are published, indicating what transpired during that meeting, which meeting is scheduled for project. It goes on for hours and hours sometimes, and sometimes is not nowhere. When it goes from hour to hour, I think that's an appreciable position. That can teach us a lot, and we as engineers should have plenty capacity to think what you can do. Meetings which tell us, actually meeting is nothing but a collection of people and collection of problems and collection of solutions. We can say how much we have done. We have to see how much we have done. In just very simple way I am explaining. Meeting means we have to understand, we have to apprehend, we have to know what we have done. Very simple. What's cost of that we have done? How much time did it involve? Who is there other than these? Who other than these? I mean to say, these people who are not willing to work. They have to work. They can't run away. If they run away, they shall run away. And there are other people who will come. That's where explanation lies a lot. In meetings, we have to know what are problems. In meetings, we have to know what is the status of procurement and what people are working on site. Are they following safety rules? And also, safety rules follow-up is required in this talk. That is, I say, continuation of that. In meetings, we have to see, we have to question everybody. Coordinates also can be answered, can be questioned, and that is called our flow, our requirement. It's not very general, it's a specific one. We should record all decisions in meeting, decisions or actions, that you can say who acted in what way, who acted in the easy way, that we should understand. It's not meeting alone, it's many more activities are done, which I cannot put here everything. Communications are very important. Communication is that part of life without which we miss something. In this mobile use life, we can say, in this mobile use of life, we are missing so much. Those people who remain busy on mobiles or smartphones, they have lost their capacities. That's not acceptable to me, because they have lost capacity of remaining healthy. You see, when you have a facility, it should be used, it should not be abused. Some people keep on talking and for hours together they talk. At the end, we should want to know, what did you talk? That person may not be able to explain except one or two points. In 1.5 hours you talk, can you only know 1 point or 2 points? That's a question. Because during a speech we forget what we speak in last sentence, and we forget what was our objective, and also in this one we are talking, we shall forget that. Mobile revolution, computer revolution has taken away power of writing. It has scrapped writing power, it has scrapped writing power and question setting power. And you can say, of course, they use mobile too, these drivers, which is not accepted. Whatever big driver you are, whatever top professional you are, you cannot do whatever you want to do. You have to think of society. That thinking is very important, and that thinking comes how to maintain safety, health and environment, how to upgrade, how to top up your quality system, how to do all that. That is very common exercise, very common requirement. We have to understand that. And if we can't understand that, we miss something, we miss a lot. That point we have to understand well. That point we have to understand very well. And if you don't understand very well, we lose something, and you can say we lose everything in that case. We have to understand our requirements, we have to understand our activities, we have to understand people, we have to understand methods, we have to understand material cost, we have to understand cost, time and value, cost, time and cost, and you can say every other point we have to consider. Projects running, projects execution is not that easy as we take it for granted. It's not easy. It is something that we have to be responsible for. A smart engineer can change whole scenario. A smart project engineer or site engineer or manager, organizer, whosoever it is, from either construction or from consultancy or from design, if one is smart enough, very good coordinator of all this, you can set the change in every scenario. We can do that. And it is done in many cases. I have seen many projects all over. Some years are very good people. You see that, okay, here is better than many others. Some systematic work goes on, very fast work goes on, and you can say if time goes on when you want to see quality. That quality approach, that safety approach itself is quality approach. Quality safety it is, quality construction it is, quality design it is, quality person it is, quality time is given means quality inspection it is, quality meeting it is. Likewise, activity, this is quality 1. Application of this item is quality 1. I appreciate, and they talk like that. I don't think there is any problem in that. There should be no problem at all. We have to review our work, we have to review everything we do, and that review is called engineering review, peer review, and that's what I am saying. In field engineering I am talking, it's field of engineering actually, field of engineering, or you may say a kind of engineering relation to human being. And engineering relation means a kind of required and resolved religion. Actually it is a religion. I studied, you studied, everybody studied for many years, and then we try to come into this field for education. I think that's also good. We have to mix up sometimes discussion of social science and discussions of some other. We have to not only depend on materials alone or machines alone, we have to be little inclined towards nature. And that inclination towards nature is very important. If I am inclined towards nature, I should know who I am, what is my purpose, what is my responsibility, and I do not know how many years I am going to live. It's a point of, you can say, concern. You cannot know, but you have to keep ready for that. It doesn't mean you sit down and worship. No, I'm not saying that. Your worship can be your work. Do not keep any bad idea in your heart. Do not keep any bad idea. Heart or mind are both required for work. Heart is required for health, mind is required for health, mind is required for safety, and we can say whatever programs we have, these should be programmed in safety, health, environment. You can say what status do we have? We should have factual statistics, not just suppressing statistics. There's no meaning in suppressing anything. What are our schemes that we can educate others on safety, health and environment, and also what are initiatives that we are going to take. Sometimes you have to educate people, sometimes, not always, and that also is very important time. It's important for those who cannot have access to documents. Those people particularly, because if they are safe, we are safe. If they are safe, we are respectful that we keep them safe. We can claim there is no due accidents, which is also sometimes looks false. I have seen many big posters on poles, oil here, Gulf countries and our countries, where they want to spend money on health. Okay, spend money, get some flour, something, but if you want something, then that money shall not help. Now we say we have to explain to them, we have to talk to them. If we cannot talk to them directly, we can publish locally all these documents. Posters, regular bulletins, competitions, pamphlets, memos from senior manager, individual awards, supervisory group awards. We can say that we have that. These are not very big, but for workers, these are, you can say, warm inducer into their minds. They say, why should I do this? They don't care for health, but when time comes, they may face something. Why it has happened like this? So you can say posters, regular bulletins, competitions, conduct of competition, you can say, among students. Then written pamphlets, of course, and of course we can say memos from senior managers, memos from senior managers, individual awards, supervisory group awards, and there are so many others. You can say, you can say, depending on size of site, depending on something else, it's your duty to educate them about safety issues, and it's also your duty to educate your staff and your workers about quality issues. It's very difficult for workers and staff to understand quality issues, but safety, everybody has to understand. We have to tell everybody what we should do, how we should do, what is safe, what is not safe, what is training. Training is very important. You can say, what is purpose of this project? You can say, what is purpose of this project? What is the purpose of or you can scope of this project? An overview of potential hazards, an overview of controls, health and safety objectives, site rules and regulations, individual responsibilities, personal protective equipment standards, accident, incidents and hazard reporting, first aid, and also you can say first aid and welfare arrangements, emergency procedures, marine activities, environmental matters, and whatever else we have on that. We cannot just say in this it is finished. There can be more and more. We have to explain to them, not descriptively, indicatively. Everybody should know what they are working for, so that everybody should feel part of that. This is not, you can say, idealistic I am talking, this is factual. Because today you have learned something, next time maybe on same project or other project in that company or somebody else, when you appear for your recruitment, They may raise questions and you can answer them. It's not only safety, also qualitatively you can answer what's purpose of project. Because if purpose of project is very important, then quality level should also be important. Very, very important. So we can say parallel in parallel we go. An overview of hazards. So we can say hazards in safety. These are involved in safety. Hazards involved in all works, and we have to protect ourselves from those hazards. Protect means we have to think of how to resolve this hazard. If we know how to resolve this hazards, what can happen this way or what can happen this way, because hazards are unexpected. Hazards never tell time when they come or in what form they would come. Same way in quality also there can be mistakes, there can be unknowns. People can cause mistakes because quality engineer cannot remain at every point all time. So you can say overview of potential hazards. Then we can say overview of controls. What controls are there? Overview of that. And then we can say health and safety regulations. So we can say safety and health regulations. So what are regulations about quality? Quality also has some health issue, some safety issue. And if quality is not included, all your safety attempts, all your other attempts go waste if you can't achieve quality. Quality means successful production, successful performance of activities. Even then you were safe, but you missed quality. Your people did not know what is quality and they do their way. So whatever spend time on wealth or money or quality on that item which has dropped from your table, you can't say you have performed well. Then can be controls issue. Who controls whom? It's a point of concern. Who controls whom? What are powers? What are descriptions on duties or job description? What are responsibilities? What are accountabilities? These must be known to everyone, and particularly to those who work independently or you can say directly, independently or dependently. You have both. Now it depends on, if it's dependent on someone else, then you have to give access all time. But all time access is not sometimes, you can say all time access, sometimes you have to change color of the glass. When color is required to be changed, we can say something was wrong, it was not visible, we cannot see that. And that applies to both. It applies to safety health environment as well as to quality system. Quality check, quality control, quality mandate, this was expected. Then there are site rules and regulations which are in your own hands, in group hands, in peers' hands, and you can apply them. I don't think there will be any problem until you can come on the road. That was reason that I say what we have to do in individual care, individual responsibility, what personal equipment we have to use, and what we have to do from safety viewpoint, from welfare viewpoint, from quality viewpoint. We have, one, you can say, reference that is given by bodies, like you can say, that is, for example, International Standardization Organization, which we in abbreviation form call it ISO, and that is 9001 publication, and which is meant for construction and civil works and all, and this is called in short ISO 9001, that applies to design and others. That tells something in various forms. about system in quality and quality in system and quality system, or you can say in ordinary language total quality system. When it means, what does it mean, total quality system? It is quality of totality, you can say. In your system there may be 3 or 4 requirements, 3 or more timely requirements all time, and these requirements must be fulfilled, and this should be fulfilled in a way guidance or direction is published by ISO 9000. ISO, you can say. It is not easy all time by everybody, because such actions at time when you are also running for project, you run project, you have to spend energy on project. Such type of acts are not very practical because people don't find them. If we can find them, both can move together, safety, health, environment and quality, and that's my stress. We have to move together, and it's not moving together actually, it's helping our team, our construction team, our design team. We have to help them how work can be done efficiently, and for that purpose you can say one person or a group of person is required for communication, for coordination, and you can say understanding of contract and method how to construct. And this organization as a whole is required. It's not very difficult to chart out your, you can say, quality AnnexSL. You can say kind of method defined therein in definition forms, what we have to check. And that is also very important. We cannot all times say, no, we have done it. We cannot say. We have done it, that is true, but it should be done correctly. It should meet our requirements. It should meet, you can say, international requirement. It should meet all points that are required. We cannot simply say, because I say do it. There are guidelines, there are directions already, which are of course you can say mandatory if you accept them. Mandatory in a sense, your document should be based on those requirements. Your work should be based on those requirements. They don't specify techniques, they don't specify some requirements, they specify guidelines. And once we accept them, because it is for public, it's like third party. A third party is trusted because third party has no interest, though it may be possible, I don't know practically what happens, but it's a question of trust, it's a question of honesty. Honesty and trust are very important, just like you can say it's kind of first aid and welfare arrangement. It's a kind of emergency requirement. If I trust someone, this means that person is reliable. I trust because that person does what it says. That person doesn't deviate. And same applies to me as a contractor, as an engineer, or as an owner, that I should be trusted. If people trust me, they will of course buy myself, buy my services, use my services. That trust is actually above all, that trust. There can be manipulation in quality documentation. We can sign backdated as people usually do, it's not very secret. Tests are conducted sometimes and manipulated. Means trust is very difficult to earn. It is very easy to do mistrust. It's very easy to cause dishonesty. But I do not know real reason behind that. Maybe some monetary benefit you get out of that. But your conscience will not accept you. It's coming to point which is not injuring point, but it is a real point above injuring. You say I have done this, in fact you have not done that. That is also true. If you have done that, that's nice, then you will be full confident. Your talks would tell, your sentences you speak, they will tell. Your face, your eyes, as you can say, psychological attraction, psychological view would declare that yes, you are right. That confidence level would be there with you, and that confidence level is very, very significant for purpose of this. In quality annex system, quality annex structural, high level structural system, responsibilities go to every level. It's not as in past 2015 it was that quality person is responsible, that error is gone. Quality person is only a part of system. Site engineer is only a part of system. But every part of system results into a quality system, and therefore everybody has some limit of responsibility that one has to dispose of. If one cannot dispose of that responsibility, that person is not competent enough. That person cannot be called, you can say, suitable for that position. That person can make suitability in due time. I'm not saying that person is redundant, but maybe that person has not that experience required for that. Again, I say experience. And experience means not experience based on sleeping, but experience based on working. That work experience would pay everybody. That is very important, very significant. We must respect them. We must respect that. And if we can respect that, that's, I think, no way better than that. No way better than that. You can see these are points we are discussing with. These are very important points. Means how we deal with them on sites, how we deal with them otherwise. That's very important one, and it cannot be taken for granted only. It should be well done, and I think it should be like that. I'm just trying to find some you can say, I don't remember actually where that file is. Let me see if I can find that structurals that I wanted to show to you. No, I don't think it's there. Lessons learned. Well, I'll take time to find that, because I wanted to show you now, but I'm not able to find that file's location in my system. And where is that? Let me see if I can. It is in general quality AnnexSL. It was data transfer. It's transform this books. No, I don't think it's on this. Well, I'm just continuing that, and I'll come back to you with that one, because it's also sometimes I forget what you want to say. That causes a problem actually. Earth lithosphere. This is SAFE project URL, skill development, HSC. This is quality system somewhere. Air Tungle, architect, AMC Water. Quality system, where it is gone. I did a lot of work on that. It should be somewhere. HSC procedures, lessons learned, method statements, let's say chapters. No, it's not that. It's not that. It was somewhere. I don't know. Book facilities on stores. Maybe in this. Let us see if it can be possible here. Chart out that one. General facilities, procurement. Well, I'll see later on, no problem. I'm not able to discover where it is now, so I leave it to now. Well, I'm sorry, I find that is very, very, very interesting one. I made videos in last time also for that. Now you have to give me some time. You can read this file by that time. It will take just 5 minutes. I'll be back to you. Just give me this. Read this one. You can read this, no problem here. It's an interesting one. And also you can read same time other file if you wish. I think. Okay, just give me 5 minutes. I'll be back. Sorry for that. So my dear fellow, I'm back. I was talking about list of safety and parallel list of quality system because both are together, both should be considered together. As I said, purpose of project, an overview, an overview of potential hazards, an overview of controls, health or safety and health objectives, site rules and regulations, individual responsibilities, personal protective equipment standards, accident, incident and hazard reporting, first aid and welfare arrangements, and likewise so many other points. Need not repeat everything. What intention it is, we have to understand what is our intention behind that. That is very much part of our system, our life, and we should not, we can say, we cannot go without that. That intention should be very, very clear. That intention should be clearly understood what we want to say. Otherwise, there is no meaning. We have to understand every part of work qualitatively as well as quantitatively. Wherever we work, we have to understand what we have to design, what we are not to do something, how we have to do. All these are very important part, and it's not simple. What I am saying is right, you have to accept that. No, that's not necessary. What is acceptable is acceptable. What is not acceptable is not acceptable. There are so many codes everywhere, all over the world. There are so many codes. You can see there are so many contract formats all over the world. There are so many specifications for, you can say, all sections of safety, all sections of quality that we should understand. It is not one thing that we can understand everything. We have to understand reality of life. For example, we have to understand contracts. Contracts like FIDIC standards we have. We have also, you can say, specifications which are very important. For example, we have certain specifications of some country that we have to respect. Here you can see this file, that is some concrete specifications, and concrete is our life, you can see list of codes, list of abbreviations in this, how these go on. It's not simple that we can just depend on something. We have to depend on many factors, many points, many documents. You can see these titles on these. How many pages of specifications we have, we do not know. And if on a major project, if you work, you shall be surprised, if you are not surprised already, that there is so much documentation in contract. Forget project first, contracts document itself is that much that it takes time to study that. And that is, practical documents. It's not some author who has written them. This is contribution of many years based on work. Thus, these documents are involved in have come out. It may be quality and testing document. It may be some other documents. All documents are involved. I am now trying to show you only for concrete. What is concrete? How it's considered? That's only one of many such specifications. There are so many requirements in this, but if you can read it, and if you do not read it, then you cannot understand anything. Reading and understanding are also different. You cannot just go through and say, okay, I've gone through this page, gone through that page. No, that's not enough. It's very important. For example, here in terms and definitions, clearly written, cementitious materials. There are so many materials defined here. It's also very important for everybody. This is technical, completely technical. How does it define? For example, a cement teaches materials. Portland cement in combination with one or more of following blended hydraulic cement, fly ash and other pozzolanas, ground granulated blast furnace slag, silica fumes and metakaolin, subject to compliance with requirements of the specification. And you can say PC means Portland cement, FA and PFA means fly ash and pyrolyzed fuel ash, and pyrolyzed fuel ash, and GGBS is ground granulated blast furnace slag. Now these are simple, means but very important. We cannot simply say this book is over, I got it. No, you have not got it. As a responsible engineer, you have to go through this in a way that you understand this. When it is required, you can access to this page and find out what is required. For example, it's very simple here. Let's say, just an example I'm giving. This is permissible temperature. What does it say? It says permissible temperature of concrete. Temperature of water for concrete shall not be less than 5 degrees Celsius. Temperature for water of concrete shall not be less than 5 degrees Celsius, not more than 40 degrees Celsius. Water may be cooled to not less than 5 degrees Celsius by gradual addition of chilled water or ice as follows. No ice particles shall be present in mix. No ice particles shall be present in concrete mix. Alternatively, flaked ice may be used. Ice to be used shall be crushed and shall be product of frozen water, which complies with acceptance criteria, and that's given table 414243. Every effort should be made to protect water pipes and tanks from sun, that is burying, shading, insulation or painting white. What is that? Every effort should be made to protect water pipes and water tanks from sun. It should not be heated. Heat should be away from that. That is burying, shading, either bury these tanks or pipes, shade them, insulate them or paint white. Just one example I am showing to you. It's technical, completely engineering. Then you can say what it says about supply. Okay, it says supply and storage. It says contractor shall make its own arrangements and obtain approval of engineer for supply of water. Supply of water also is to be approved. It's a major item. Storage of water should be such that contamination is prevented from occurring. Whatever measures taken to avoid contamination of water shall be to approval of engineer. And you can see testing and sampling. Whenever required to do so by engineer, contractors shall take samples of water being used or which is proposed to use for mixing concrete and test them for quality. Sample of water not less than 5 liters. Sample of water not less than 5 liters shall be taken, sealed and sent for testing at an approved independent laboratory, which is approved one, prior to approval of whatever water source. And whenever sources of water is changed periodically during continuance of its use, whatever change of water source is there, you have to again take 5 liters and approve it. And that is where we have to see water is not contaminated. It is used for construction. Water of questionable quality should comply with physical tests of table 4.1, which is given below, and chemical limitations listed in table 4.2 and 4.3. No source of water shall be used until required tests have demonstrated its suitability for concreting. Use of water from a municipal or government supply does not preclude requirement of testing. From whatever source it is, it requires testing. That's what it says. Now it's table 4.1, for example, I'm just referring to you acceptance criteria and physical tests for mixing water. I'm just trying to tell you some information that's available in international documents. And this is actually from Qatar, state of Qatar, and that is section 5, and the specifications for concrete from their national standards specifications. Compressive strength at 7-day minimum percentage of control, and that is mixing water test. This criteria, test method is EN 1961, 90% limit. Then setting time, maximum deviation from controls. This is from 1 early to 1:30 later, and this is acceptance criteria and physical test for mixing water. This is according to European Union test method, and one is EN 1961 and other is EN 1963. Now chemical limitations for mixing. What are chemical limitations according to table 4.2? It says chloride, and according to test method BS 6068-137 ISO 9297, and mixing maximum limit milligram per liter, how much it should be. For pre-stressed concrete 500 milligram per liter, for reinforced concrete 1000 milligram per liter, this chloride content, and for concrete without reinforcement 4500. So there is a variation in this. Pre-stress is considered minimum content permissible 500 milligram per liter. Reinforced concrete is given is concession, and it is 1000 double to pre-stressed concrete, and then there is no reinforcement, is much more permissible. Same way sulfate is affected, is decided 2000 means in concrete, and then alkali means 500 and 1500. There's alkali carbonates and bicarbonates. Of course you can read these codes yourself. Then alkali equivalent sodium oxides 1500, and then TDS called total dissolved ions, TDI, and also this is BS 1377, and there are 3 ranges in this: pre-stressed concrete 1000, reinforced concrete 2000 milliliter. Of course PP you can say is milligram per liter, of course. Then reinforced concrete 2000, and without reinforcement 5000, and pH, ordinarily pH 6.5 to 9. Same way maximum limit of harmful contaminants, and these can be COD, phosphate, nitrate, lead, zinc, and various test methods are given here. Then limit starts at milligram per liter, and that is for COD, which is 50, phosphate 30, nitrate 100, lead 100, zinc 100, and this is standard methods for examination of water and wastewater. Then you can see health and safety, also a part here, which is also interesting one for everybody to know. On site where a permit is issued for municipal treated water, on site where a permit is issued for municipal treated water used in construction works, effluent should be treated by tertiary treatment. Stages including filtration and disinfectant. Chlorine alone or ultraviolet radiation or ozonation. You can say disinfectant is this. I read again. Effluent should be treated by tertiary treatment. Tertiary treatment stages including filtration and disinfectant, chlorine alone or ultraviolet radiation or ozonation. Furthermore, following site health and safety services and treated effluent quality be fulfilled. Residual chlorine level shall be within range 0.5 to 1 milligram per liter. That is residual chlorine level 0.5 to 1 milligram per liter. For water to be used for concrete, disinfectant shall be ultraviolet radiation or ozonation. Whatever water you are going to use for mixing concrete, disinfectant shall be ultraviolet radiation or ozonation. Coliform level shall fulfill one of following. Fecal coliform less than 200 CFU per 100 milliliter in case there is no direct exposure on site workers. Total coliform less than 23 CFU per 100 milliliter in case there is direct exposure on site workers. Site shall be facilitated by safety and health guidelines where it is indicated by local language. Here it is Arabic because this is specific from Qatar, English or some other languages. Where there are 5 workers or more on site, water not for human consumption. Site shall be facilitated by health and safety equipment as well as personal health and safety protection equipment. Then you can say labor or workers shall follow safety and health guidelines and instructions, use their health and safety personal protection equipment. Then this is admixtures, concrete admixtures, another chapter it is here. Then I can say let's go further and see if there is some important for current time. It's not safety part, and you can say also it's something those are related to safety, but it is about you can say waterproofing admixtures. Admixtures be suitable for use in Gulf condition and especially formulated for high ambient temperatures. So let us read a little on this. No, you know harm if you read a little here just to have some information. Admixture shall be added per manufacturer's data sheet. Approved third-party laboratory verification shall be conducted prior to use of material for works. Manufacturer's technical representative shall be present to ensure proper doses of admixture during trial mix. Water resisting admixture. Now, water resisting admixture may be used with permission of engineer and comply with requirements of BSEN 9342. Admixture to be added per manufacturer supplier data sheet at time of mixing. Approved lab verification shall be made prior to use. Permeability reducing admixture. This is very important. Permeability reducing admixture. Permeability is very harmful in concrete. You know it very well. What is permeability? That also you know very well. Those who don't know, I can explain. Flow of water through voids is called permeability. Capability of whatever material or even soil where voids are available within that mix or within that portion of soil, if water can flow into that, it's called permeability. And if water cannot flow through voids, there is no such route, it's called impermeability. So here permeability reducing admixture it can reduce, you can say, permeability so that chlorides cannot move also with water, and you can say water cannot move within that. Just to do that, admixture shall be Admixture shall be permeability reducing admixture for non-hydrostatic conditions, that is PRAN, and hydrostatic conditions, that is PRAH. PRAN, that is non-hydrostatic conditions, and PRAH, that is hydrostatic conditions, by indicated by ACI 212.3R10 or crystalline waterproofing mixture. That is here permanently reducing. Now PRAH says, for PRAH independent testing shall be performed according to NSF standard 61, and approval for use of waterproofing material on structures holding potable water shall be evidenced by NSF certification. Now there's some metals. It's not a normal, some metals are actually. Means you have to submit everything for approval. That is general principle. It may be construction contract or it may be EPC, whatever. Contractor shall submit manufacturer's specifications, installation instructions and other data to show compliance with requirements of this part of specification and contract documents. Contractor shall submit comprehensive test results for water proofing admixture as admixture per test in specification and evidence of their ability to meet all requirements specified. Contractor shall submit a guarantee for waterproofing admixture. Guarantee shall be worded to reflect required performance. I'll just come back after this to general talk. It says that corrosion inhibiting admixture. Where required, where reinforced concrete structures are exposed to aggressive environment, where reinforced concrete structures are exposed to aggressive environment such as underground and marine structures, use of corrosion inhibiting admixture shall be allowed. Corrosion inhibiting admixture shall comply with ASTM C1582 standard specifications for admixtures to inhibit chloride, induce corrosion of reinforcing steel in concrete. Organic corrosion inhibitors. Admixture shall be based on either aqueous emulsion of amines and esters or amine carboxylates, amines or esters or amine carboxylates, and be capable of forming a protective corrosion resistant film around steel reinforcement. This is the main point. This is organic corrosion inhibitor. Admixture shall be based on either aqueous emulsion of amines and esters or amine carboxylates and shall be capable of forming a protective corrosion resistant film around steel reinforcement. Corrosion inhibitors shall be capable of effecting protection to steel where concrete has cracked and allows access to elements responsible for corrosion. Corrosion inhibitors shall be capable of effecting protection to steel where concrete has cracked and allows access to elements responsible for corrosion. Organic corrosion inhibitors have a fixed doses rate independent of chloride levels and shall be incorporated at doses rate recommended and tested by manufacturer. Inorganic corrosion shall be based on calcium nitrides. You know what happened in Lebanon. Inorganic corrosion in apparatus shall be based on calcium nitrides, capable of capable of oxidizing steel to a more stable form, increasing its passivity in presence of chloride. Increasing its passivity in presence of chloride. Doses of inorganic corrosion inhibitors, see, you can say corrosion inhibitors ranges from 10 to 30 liters per cubic meter depending on expected chloride levels as defined by ACI 212 table 13.1. So this is about inorganic corrosion inhibitors. It is also very quality issue that must be known, and so now there are so many other chapters. I don't want to pull everything here because it will bore you. So what I mean to say, I'll just close this file and come back to you. So I was talking about general issues of safety, environment, quality, etc. Then we can say all recording of talks and all that. I'm not interested in that. Specialist training. Yes, trainings are very important in safety. These are actually sections on this. Ultimately, we can say what we have to do is we have to understand all points. Now let's go to contractor's control, because ultimately contractor has to do job. Ultimately contract is very important on constructions. Now what do you think means responsibility of contractor? Is it only contract or it's overall? Well, it's a detailed and overall, I should say, detailed and overall. Contractor means it's a body or person or whosoever who is paid for something. It's very, very basic definition by someone who is also a party to contract but owner. This means owner or a body of persons or whatever it is pays money for something which that contractor delivers. It's so simple. Now question is quality and safety. Question number one is that contractor competent enough to keep all workers, all machines, all infrastructure safe from a point of view where accidents can be avoided, incidents can be avoided, and people are not exposed to undue hardship, or you can say undue you can say maintenance of safety is done, you can say otherwise. Safe maintenance is done of health. Safety is very important for everyone. Good working conditions, good environment must be available for people to work. That's simple, as simple to say. Other one is whatever product contractor delivers, that should amount to upkeep of quality. If quality is not maintained in delivered product, that product, if does not comply with quality requirements, that product cannot be called quality product. That can be called quality less product. I can say, even if somebody claims it's 75% quality, 25% not quality, I can't accept it. Because when I make money, make payment to you, I pay to you for complete product, not part product. And I don't want to accept that product. So simple. That is first answer. Second answer, I don't accept you as well. That's second answer. So as a customer, as a consumer, as an end user, I don't accept you as contractor or a quality supplier. You buy whatever product from market, whatever biggest company it may be, whatever world level company it may be, if it does not deliver quality, I don't accept this company as my contractor. You are contractor. Agreement is, I pay you, you give me this, and that's it. It may be written contract or it's not written, that is different. I pay you this amount which you claim, this is this cost. You discount or don't discount, that's your problem. I am paying you X amount and you are paying me this item number 1 or whatever number 1. This is an exchange, this is a transaction. In that transaction capacity, you are a contractor and I am owner. I shall own your product, though I am end user. You are owner of manufacturing this and I am owner of using it. Your ownership remains until this project remains, until this product I use, and you have defined that it shall be used for 1 year or for 2 years, you guarantee that one. So at least, though I don't believe in that guarantee also, okay, this is not building, this is not flyover, this is not lifelong, I accept, okay, 1 year is enough for this, let me accept that. If I think it's okay, I should not unnecessarily give hardship to this manufacturer or this contractor. In that case, at least this product should work for 1 year. Or if it is for 2 years, it should work for 2 years. And you only say that I'll repair it if there is some breakdown. But my question is, technically speaking, engineering wise speaking, you are taking shelter behind that warranty. That shelter, okay, if it is in rare cases, fine. In rare cases, which is in most cases, if it happens, this means that is a loss of quality. I can count it as loss of quality because I don't want to permit you take shelter behind that warranty or guarantee. 1 year shelter, 2 year shelter, 3 year shelter, and after that time is over, I have to pay you for maintenance contract. You would say take AMC. Means that is another point where you want to earn. This means your quality is fake. Your quality is fake. You see, warranty is given in rare cases, okay, it happens by chance, then we will do it. But if it generally happens, okay, no problem, it's period of warranty means it is taken for a ride. No, it's warranty time. And customers think, okay, warranty time, I am not to pay anything. No, you have already paid. You have paid money for life of this project. For life of this product you have paid. There is no question that you have to pay more. But they have done business in a way that you can't understand. They may give you some discount, but that discount may be recovered during AMC. Means you can say half cost of your product shall be charged per year as maintenance. And say for 5 years you keep maintenance, AMC, 2.5 times cost they charge in that. So 2.5 times cost and 1 time cost, 3.5 times cost they have taken you, they have taken from you, and you are still feeling happy. This is called business, like this. This is called MBA, I think. This is management. Management means indirect cheating, indirect befooling, and people forget everything. Who shall remember for 8 years what did you do? That is what analysis is. So don't tell about guarantee. It is your product. It is your responsibility. If it doesn't work, I can throw it onto your head. That is my guarantee. I condemn you. That is my guarantee. There is no question of professionalism in this. It's question of business, money, and profession doesn't accept all this what you are doing. Yes, this product should work free of any problem for its life. Or you should tell me this part may not work properly. While you sell it, you tell me, you give me in writing, this part is for so many years, this part is for so many years, and this part is for so many years. If you want to buy, okay, but you cannot say indirectly, this is for this is for that, warranty period is this, warranty period is that. Don't forget I am customer. Don't forget, I can't understand your technology. Don't forget, I don't know what does this part mean. You are technical person. You have manufactured it. You are engineer. You are super engineer. You know everything about your product. I did not know how it was manufactured. I know to use it, and if I cannot use it, it's not my fault. It's your fault. Even if there's a voltage fluctuation, you cannot blame me. You should have known what's voltage, how it does. There will be voltage fluctuation in your company also, in your factory also. So you can't run away from this. It is same as if there's rain and I can raise, oh, it was rain day, I can't work, I could not work, so I should be given extension. No. You are a contractor. You should know what is rain, what is no rain. You should know what happens, what doesn't happen. That's what is required. That's, my dear friends. Do not take it otherwise. It is question, very important question. How to control? Contractor is very hard work. Profession of contractor is very hard. Profession of engineering is very hard. So much plus and minus, so much good and bad are involved in that. In safety, in health, in environment, in quality, in production, and in maintenance. All are complicated sub-disciplines in that discipline of construction, that designs. Design is same. Design is not easy. It's not simply software that is used and design is done. It is contemplation that is required. Do not think if you just model something, you have done your job. Did you contemplate on that? That's the point. What was the level of your contemplation? And if you fail to contemplate, you just depending on your you can say, soft modeling. I don't think that they are a complete engineer. You should keep in mind ease of construction, not difficulty of construction. You should keep in mind ease of maintenance. You should keep in mind ease of material availability. You should keep in mind ease of equipment. You should keep in mind time factor. You should keep in mind cost factor. You should keep in mind all these items. If you are virtual, if you are a practical, if you are an engineer who is a designer, you should know construction. You should understand aftermaths of contracts. You should understand what's value of coordination. And you should also be involved with coordination. And if you can't do that, you miss something you should not have missed. It's not surprising that people now claim they are structural engineers or design engineers, but really speaking, they are part design engineers because they don't want to involve in quality, they don't want to involve in contracts, they don't want to involve in coordination, they just want to deliver blueprints or blue softwares of their design and leave everything behind. And that is not engineering, that is just part engineering. This is not a designed statement. This is a statement based on experience. I have also faced many difficulties with designers because they ignore something which they should have considered. And I appreciate some designers also. They issue drawings in a professional manner that sometimes I did not find any problem, even in those days where there were no computers. And they wrote on drawings every method by sketches. Do like this and do like that. I also appreciate those designs. I also appreciate those designers who give complete details of bar bending, scassium, so that even if we give it to some bar bender, some steel fixer, that person produces without reference to me, except in some cases there is some difficulty. So I respect those designers who invest time, but in my country, great Bharat, India, there is some problem we know. There is problem everywhere, and that problem is accumulating day by day. Nobody is there to resolve it. There is no will, there is no way. Same applies here. In my country, will is absent. Will is absent, so I can say way is absent. Engineers should be engineers, not cowards. Engineers should be engineers, not cowards. Program should be program, not a gram, not a colored print. Colored prints are not programs. It should have weight. It should have contents. What is your previous life experience? And what is your training? And what you can do? A person who has to award contract, that person is responsible to scrutinize offer, to scrutinize what contractor is offered and what we required. It can be qualification, it can be no qualification, you can say. Sometimes offer is based on qualification, though engineer expects it free of qualification. But no issue. If a contractor has a problem, we have to look into that. If problem can be resolved, okay, we resolve it and say, okay, it is qualification free. But if it is qualified, do you know what is qualification or no qualification? Maybe I'll have to explain to you all. Whatever conditions you write in contract documents or bid documents, you say contractor has to accept each and every content of this bid document. Or you raise a query before tender or bid is submitted and get clarification, or we shall modify or we shall amend if it's required, so that your point is clear. But you have to accept all these conditions, all these contents of this bid documents that you give, and that's called that there is no alteration and this is not qualified. This is not, you can say, there is no condition on this, time condition, cost condition, or you can say condition according to contract, whatever conditions are there. This is free of all those, you can say, encumbrances, or we call it qualification. It should be qualification free. And if you want to write some qualification, don't write in this. We will negotiate it later on, or you can give an alternative submission so that we can consider both. So best is that before closing some bid, we have to get clarified each and every issue, so that we have no room to talk to them and they have no room to talk to us as far as conditions, deviations are concerned. Yes, we have method statements, we have execution statements, we have project plans, we have cost factors, we have quality issues, we have safety issues, other issues are there which can be handled, which can be taken care of. These points we must keep in our bodies, our minds, everywhere, and that is very important point. And if we can run away from that, we run away from ourselves, I can say. So we have to see this. Just read these few points. Few points are very important, and I think these are very important points as far as concerned. And I'll be back within 2 minutes. Sorry, Antu, I come back. Now, now we go further and say what we have done so far. We say following reports require although that contractor performance and achievements can be monitored under the accident incident report, inspection reports, injury illness rates, injury illness type, summary of causation factors, record of health and safety matters, meeting report on training and toolbox stocks. Toolbox stocks says are pre-award and post-award health and safety meeting held. That's the question here. It's very big procedure actually, contracting. Contracting means pre-contract, during contract and post-contract. 3 stages. Pre-contract is very long, contract is also very long, and post-contract means if it is guaranteed, warranty and maintenance. Maintenance is a part of contract itself, but it's not to that level. Now it says pre-contract, or you can say bid stage. Bid stage is a part of course it's part of contract, but it's a part of contract, but there is no surety who shall get this job. That's a part where we can only imagine, but once contract is awarded, that becomes a responsibility. Before it is awarded, we have to call all those who may be future contractors, and it's to be made sure by scrutinizer, owner's representative or engineer, to make sure that these parties have adequate or required competencies to carry out these jobs or group of jobs, buildings, structures or infrastructure or plants or whatever. After all, concrete material is everywhere, excavation is everywhere, formwork and steel fixing is everywhere, structure steel is everywhere. Only differences come somewhere in finishing items. Designs are same, everything is same. Sometimes buildings complicates contract. Structures of buildings are more important than structures of infrastructure, because generally in plants dominance goes to structural steel, dominance goes to foundations, dominance goes to piping, and dominance goes to specific buildings and not to general building. General buildings are very limited on plants, like administrative building, very limited, some amenities building, or you can say electrical substations or stations, which are all RCC generally. But in other projects, residential projects, commercial projects where multi-stories, high-rises are involved, they are different world. They are different world, you can say. They involve much technicalities. They involve much of expectations, but not like structural steel or piping. There is piping also in those, but not to that level, gas pipe or chemical piping or this and that, or piping controls, like you can say, you may say, what you call it, avoid freezing of material in pipes, you can say. Heat tracing we call it. Heat tracing is not required there. Cathodic protection may not be required there, may not be not necessary. Lighting protection may be required there. Lighting protection may be required on some buildings in plants also, but because all are low-rise buildings there, so that may not be that important. But contract documents of building projects are very many, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Every floor plan we have to prepare. Structural details of whole frame we have to prepare. Structural details of each floor we have to prepare. and then their working drawings, BBS, etc. It's very voluminous work in buildings, in structures. In plants, different type of utilities, voluminous utilities, voluminous. You can say voluminous foundations, no standards, all separate designs, heavy foundations. Just like raft in building is very heavy. It happens. Columns, of course, in plants are very heavy due to vibrations transferred from machines. Thousands and thousands of tons of structural steel elements are used in plants, but in buildings, not like that. Buildings can be RCC on site, cast on site, can be pre-stressed concrete, parts manufactured in factory and installed on sites. There's a difference of approach. You can take flyovers as completely different one. And you can consider water line, sewer line or other lines which has a different one. Somewhere technology is more, somewhere spread work of more. For road work you can say spread is more. Spread is more, levels are important, routes are important, curves are important. Whereas in buildings, routes are not important, curves are not important, depends on that. Every work is different. So safeties are different, safety element is different, quality element is different. Working on site is different. All these points require our attention. We must care for that. It's important. We cannot leave it to chances. We should not leave it to chance. It should return. It should work. That is important. My purpose was to talk of some quality and some safety, and I will continue this in coming times if this video signals permit me. Today it was good day that it permitted me up to now. Maybe they read my mails, I don't know, sure or not sure, but it appears sometimes they sleep, sometimes they don't. And same thing applies here. Sometimes we sleep, sometimes we don't. And this will continue and bring more into this. We have to keep our preparedness for emergencies. We have to do everything, and I think we have to consider all these points very carefully, because this document is inspection and audit. And you can do inspection and audit when you understand about work, when we understand about procedures. I think understanding is much better than any formal training. Training is supportive. It can support only when we know what we have to do, what is required to be done. When we know that these procedures, these trainings are more useful. The same thing as when you join university, you know what is engineering, at least something you should know what is building, what is road, what is machine, what is electricity. And if you don't know that, then you join whatever branch of engineering, you shall not know anything. And that's why school education helps. Same way, here is school education, that you know what is engineering, what procedures you have to do, and then training of quality or training of safety or training of procedures can help us. That point we have to understand very well. It's a must point, and we should not disregard that. If we disregard that, we disregard ourselves. Every engineer is important. Knowledge and practical power of every engineer is very important. Some engineers are very good in theories, some are very good in designs, and some are very good on site works. Some are very good in coordination work, some are good in communication. It depends on engineers' interest, engineers, you can say, inclination, and how you want to move. But generally, I have noticed, I have observed that communication and coordination is not preferred by engineers. Civil engineers generally prefer site work, execution work, same mechanical and electrical do, but you know, until you are involved with documents, you cannot understand facts. You can understand as something is going on, I have done it and that's it. And if someone asks you what you have done, what is your basis, and you may not know it, that stage should not reach. Engineering doesn't mean that you have just to do job. It doesn't mean that. Job should be done according to requirements. Quality, safety, technology, and you have to consider time, you have to consider cost, you have to consider all factors that could not be considered by that time. If you can do that, I think it will be better for everyone. Because when you consider that, you will take care of time, you will consider output of your workers, that you have to increase that. Time is very important because it is impacted, it is because of contract. Liabilities can be avoided if we take care of time controls, and we can say that every contract has some time duration and that time duration should be honored. And if we can honor that, we can avoid many complications. We can avoid many claims, and this is not for contractors only. It's also for engineers who supervise their work. It's also for owners. It's also for everybody, because no owner has got any interest that damages should be received from contractor, and vice versa. Why you think of damages when your contract is ready to be delivered, your project is ready to be delivered? Why don't you get benefit of that timely delivery rather than think of liquidated damages? That point is very important. Liquidated damages shall not solve your problem, but delivery of project in time shall solve your problem. That is where we have to stand, we have to respect, we have to think. And if we can do that, that is what we say, everything must be achieved. Designs and prosecution works, applications must be affected, and you can say engineering, it is called plus 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 engineering plus plus. And non-conformance should be avoided, conformance should be respected. Conformance should be respected so that your certification stands. People can say, here is what we need, here is what we require. That's where level is. If here is what you required, we can say this works. Then this works. Then we have to say, yes, we are conforming with quality, we are not non-conforming. And we can say that thinking and concentration has worked, analysis has worked, and reliability is achievable. And you can say all these factors are achieved, and ultimately we go through our and we say it is a must. When we reach that level, well, I think that is the best thing we can do, that is the best approach we can have, and that is the best time we can manage, we can understand. What else? This is required. So, I hope today's talk has given you something, because I have talked about quality, I have talked about safety, I have talked about some specifications, and it is in interest of everybody that field engineering should be understood properly. We are trying to understand that. I myself am trying to understand that. Being a, you can say, having long, having long, having long experience, I should say good experience, I myself trying to understand what is field engineering, what is design engineering, what is life engineering, what is quality and AnnexSL. I'll try to get it out next time. What is how to handle problems in life, in construction, everywhere, and how to chart out methods, contracts, organizations, and how to deal with communication. That is very important part of engineering, and experts are not available everywhere. And coordination is such a specialized job where you can say there is no university that can teach you. There is no university all over the world that can teach you coordination. It is born you can say, born subject. You have to do yourself. There can be no qualification that can be equated to coordination. Communication you can learn anywhere, but coordination is completely technical, engineering, contractual, and we have to involve with this in full depth. Otherwise, nobody can be called coordinator, and only engineers can be coordinators. There can be no other coordinator in profession of engineering, because this is not administrative job alone. This is technical come administration come contractual. Technical plus administration, technical administration I mean, plus contractual, and miscellaneous. Means conducting meeting is a part of coordination, writing is a part of coordination, raising questions, technical questions is a part of coordination. Going into depth study of work is coordination, and everybody cannot concentrate on this issue. I think I cannot move further because maybe you are sleeping. We'll take care next time, and by that I take your leave. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day and meet again.